Klamath, Utah is a place where the landscape does the talking. It's rugged, beautiful, and if you aren't careful, deadly. On the night of March 3rd, 2022, the silence of the mountain town was shattered by a 911 call that seemed at first like a tragic accident. Kouri Richins, a local real estate success story and a mother of 3, was on the line. Her husband Eric, a man who looked like he could move mountains with his bare hands, was unresponsive. He was cold. He was gone. The community mourned. They saw a grieving widow. They saw a woman who turned her pain into a child's book about loss. But while Kouri was writing about angels in the sky, investigators were looking at a digital trail of devils in the details. Because beneath the surface of this perfect Utah life was a marriage built on foundation of quicksand, a secret lover, and a lethal dose of fentanyl that didn't just appear by magic. This is the story of the life Eric Richins thought he had and the one his wife was actually living. To understand the end, we have to look back at the beginning. Eric Richins was the kind of man who built things to last. His company, C&E Stone Masonry, wasn't a business. It was a reputation. He was known for his measure twice, cut once philosophy. In 2013, he married Kouri Richins. She was younger, vibrant, and possessed an ambition that some find inspiring and others found intense. For a few years, they were the it couple of Summit County, but Eric's family saw things differently. There was a friction there, a sense that Kouri's appetite for more and more houses and more status and more influence didn't quite mesh with Eric's desires for a simple life on the ranch. Eric wasn't a cynical man, but he was a businessman. Before their wedding, he insisted on a prenuptial agreement. It was the standard document, but it had a specific clause. Kouri would only inherit his share of masonry business if they were still married at the time of his death. At the time, it was formality. Years later, it would look like a motive written in ink. By 2020, the measured twice man was starting to realize the math in his own home didn't add up. Kouri had launched her own real estate house and flipping venture, but she was playing with fire and Eric's money. She allegedly had taken over $100K from his bank accounts. She forged his name on a $250K home equity line of credit. She even took out at least 5 life insurance policies on Eric, totaling nearly $2 million in coverage. Eric had no idea he was worth more to Kouri dead than alive. The breaking point was a $2 million 20-acre square foot unfurnished mansion in Heber City. Kouri wanted it. Eric, seeing a financial black hole, said no. He didn't just say no, he forbade the purchase. So Kouri did what she had become an expert at. She did it anyway. She forged his signature to stay under contract. She was drowning in debt, and the only way out was a massive windfall. A windfall that would only come if Eric was no longer around to say no. But the rot wasn't just financial. It was deeply, darkly personal. While Eric was out in the Utah sun building walls of stone, Kouri was building a new life with someone else. Enter Robert Grossman. He was a handyman, an Iraq war veteran who worked on Kouri's properties. But by late 2021, their relationship had moved far beyond professional. Their text messages, later recovered by FBI, painted a picture of a woman ready to trade her old life for a new one. Text messages read, Kouri to Grossman, I'm in love with a man that's not my husband. Grossman to Kouri. It's draining to love you and pretend to be an idiot. This wasn't a casual fling. Kouri was telling Grossman she wanted him to be her husband one day. But there was a problem. If she divorced Eric, the prenup would leave her with almost nothing. If Eric died, she got the business, the insurance, and the $2 million mansion. Valentine's Day 2022 is where the two lives of Kouri Richins collided with a terrifying precision. That morning, Kouri bought Eric a sandwich. Within minutes, Eric was in anaphylactic shock. He used his son's EpiPen, terrified, and texted Kouri that he was headed to the hospital. While Eric was fighting for air, Kouri's phone was busy. She was texting doctors. She was texting Grossman. She sent him a screenshot of her GPS showing she was headed that way to see him. She even sent a flirtatious text. I love you. Wanna be one of your Valentines? Eric survived that day. He told his sister, I think Kouri tried to kill me. He was right. She had just failed part 1 of her plan. Failure didn't lead to remorse. It led to a stronger dose. Kouri allegedly reached out to the housekeeper, Carmen Lauder, looking for the Michael Jackson stuff, street slang for high-potency opioids. She bought hydrocodone first. But after the Valentine's Day sandwich incident failed to finish the job, she went back for more. She told her contact she needed some of that high-powered shit. She wanted fentanyl. On February 26, 2022, Kouri allegedly met her dealer in a driveway in Bountiful, Utah, for $900. She purchased a bag of blues, illicit fentanyl pills. She now had the murder weapon. She just needed the occasion. March 3rd was supposed to be a celebration. Kouri told Eric she had finally closed on the Heber mansion. It was a lie, but it gave her the excuse she needed to make him a drink, a Moscow Mule. Sweet, cold, and, according to the medical examiner, laced with 5 times the lethal limit of fentanyl. Kouri would later tell police she went to sleep in her son's room and found Eric dead at the foot of their bed at 3 a.m. But when the paramedics arrived, they noticed something strange. Eric had been dead for a while. And Kouri, she wasn't just a grieving widow. She was a woman who had to just clear her path to her new life. Or so she thought. Because in Camas, the mountains are ears, and the digital trail she left behind was about to start screaming.